Shwai, Garan Evans sy'n. I'm the host of a brand new Scarlets podcast. We'll be talking to players, bydd ni'n siarad I chwaraewyr, siarad am unrhyw straeon sy'n dod o Parc y Scarlets, a'n edrych am gemau Ewropeaidd, all things Scarlets for you as supporters and this great club. Shwai pawb, croeso cynnes, a very warm welcome to the first Scarlets podcast. It's to celebrate, really, 3 years since we've played in the Champions Cup. Feels like a long time ago, 3 years. Time has flown. We've had some great memories over the years, and the Scarlets as a club is synonymous really with big European moments, big European matches, and there's quite a buzz again. Looking forward to this weekend's game against Bristol. So we'll talk a little bit about past history of the Scarlets, a few more recent matches, and we look ahead into Bristol as well. So just to give you some statistics before I start, I mentioned the proud history. There's 156 European matches the Scarlets have been involved in. They've played in 12 European quarterfinals, 5 European semi-finals, 4 of which were in the Champions Cup, 1 in the Challenge Cup. Huge European matches, and of course synonymous with Scarlets legends like your Scott Connells, Stephen Joneses, Martin Maddens, Ken O, Liam Williams, and 3 of our guests here today for this podcast. So I'll give them all a good introduction. First up, it's his 18th European rugby season with the Scarlets. Once nominated as EPCR Player of the Year, played over 250 games for the Scarlets, a lifetime member, winning 77 Welsh caps. It's Gareth Davies. Croeso cynnes I ti, Gareth.
Diolch, Gar. Edrych mlaen I gael sgwrs fach? Ydw, edrych mlaen fe.
Good. Next up, a man who's played over 100 Scarlets matches, won over 150 Welsh caps, back for his second spell with the Scarlets, Mr. Jake Ball.
How you got?
All right, all good?
All good, man.
Good. And then, last but not least, it's a gentleman who's played over 150 times for the Scarlets. 41 Welsh caps. It's Ryan Elias, 41, right?
42, 43 maybe.
42, 43, yeah. It's not far from 50. Surely that's...
Yeah, not far.
Surely that would be a goal of yours to get to the 50 mark.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't paid too much thought on that, to be honest with you, but I only had 200 for the Scarlets first.
Yeah.
And I was there for this season too. Ended up tearing the bicep off the bone, but yeah, see if I can stay fit now and maybe at that milestone next.
Yeah, well, you're back fit, obviously. We've got Bristol coming up, but we'll talk more about Bristol a little bit later on. But we will talk about early memories. It might not be relevant to you, Jake, growing up in Australia with Scarlet memories as a youngster, but you boys surely would have been there as youngsters at Stradey Park watching big matches at the time, or maybe big European matches.
Yeah, I used to come all the time, my family have always been a big part of, Shanashri and the Scarlets. So, from when I was a youngster, me and my brother, we used to come to, every home game in Stradey Park with my dad. And yeah, I got some brilliant, amazing memories, from coming to watch some of those big European games, watching people like yourself, Gar, Dwayne Peel and and those legends back in the day. So yeah, got some amazing memories.
Dwayne, it'd be quite strange, I imagine, having Dwayne as a coach, from watching him as a young kid, as a bit of a hero in those big games. It would be stranger than coaching you, surely.
Yeah, it was a little bit. When Peely came to us a few years ago as one of our coaches, it was I used to look up at him when I was a youngster, and always wanted to be a similar player to him. So I think I've turned out a bit better than him.
Was there any crossover? Did you train at Peely? Or
when I left the academy into the first team, he moved then. He went up to Save, I think that's it.
Big money move for it, but I say they are sure chasing the car, only car, sorry.
But yeah, it's been great.
Ryan, early memories?
So I would say the last game against Bristol, actually. I remember being there for that one, and I went up with my best friend Jack Maynard and his man, the legend Anthony Maynard. Yeah, watched the game, and then afterwards we all got onto the pitch and pinched a piece of turf. And I've still got a piece of turf in the house now from Stradey in the last game. because obviously all the crowd was on the pitch after years in, yeah. So I don't remember the rugby, I'll be honest. I remember looking at the Scott Quinnell, blokes like that. The picture of us three in the house, me, Jack and him.
yeah.
Yeah, so that would probably be my earliest memory of the Scarlets, and particularly Stradi.
Scott would have finished by the Bristol match, but he was such an incredible figure in those big European matches back in the day, and it probably just before your time, really. But the Scarlets to me is synonymous with some massive one-off European matches, and there's been plenty of notable achievements over the year. I think the Scarlets were the first Welsh team to win away in France. Was, believe it or not, winning it. Well, it's difficult to win in France. So nowadays, but back when we started, we would go to France and we would get hammered with 50, 60 points each game. It was demoralising. So I think we were the first Welsh team to win. Is that us?
So there again, sure.
I think it was Gwpan, I think. That pronunciation is right. Gareth Jenkins used to call him Bugo. But I think it's Gwpan. But then we had David James, Scott Quinnell. I remember woke up in the morning and he was sick. He was telling Gareth Jenkins, "Oh, I can't play him too well." But Gareth Jenkins forced him to play. He was on fire and he made the win. But Dav James scored a couple of cracking tries.
Would you have been out in the beers before?
Yeah,
Says beaten up.
No, coaches would have been on the beers like before. No, not the players. The players, to be fair, would wait until after the game. But they were big trips really for us, because in the early days, especially, we'd play Welsh leagues, wouldn't we? So there wouldn't be much travelling involved. We have a bus journey. But then the first European matches, one of the first away matches, we would have played at Benetton away, I think, in Ewrop. But similar to now, really, it's, there were no chartered flights back in those days. So we flew out 2 days before the match. So the day before the match, we all went on a sightseeing trip to Venice for a day, and then we went on, and I think we lost to Benetton actually. So it probably to do with the 20,000 steps we did down Venice the day before the match. But it was all a new experience for us. It was funny looking back on, and we thought we were quite professional back in the day as well. But we used to enjoy ourselves after the match, and you still do enjoy yourselves. There are key periods during the season. You don't go out every weekend, obviously.
No, it's usually after the big ones. Yeah, big ones or big win. As you say, hopefully this year now, Bordeaux away. If you turn them over, you can a couple of bottles of red maybe after that. You never know.
Yeah, because it's a big couple of weeks. Bristol first up, and then into Bordeaux. But we'll talk about what's to come a little bit later. It'd be good actually just to get us in the mood. Just to show some clips. I mentioned some of the big games. It would be great to talk about this run that you had in Europe back in 2018. This is one of the main matches from that day. Do you remember we started off quite poorly really. We lost away to Toulon. We lost at home in the rain to Bath. We nearly lost to Benetton, but we beat Benetton twice, which gave us a chance then of winning a few matches to get into the knockout stages. It started really with a victory away in Bath, which is still probably an incredible 40 minutes of rugby. We watch this and then we get back into it, but this is nail biter stuff. Show you this in this match, knowing that we had a whole heap quite on the line. Do you remember this game?
Yeah, this was a special game, yeah. And McCridey's try early on in corner. I think Baxi had none on the batch, so I don't know how it was happened, but no, he was outstanding.
It was a hell of a buzz. I was on the bench and the crowd was unbelievable. Which helps, doesn't it? We won a good run. Look at the team we got. There's ridiculous, really. Obviously, the year before we won the league. Hell run this year. Well, he won that year. It was really good buzz around the place.
It
doesn't get much bigger than Toulon coming to town as well.
That's the one thing when you look at this game. I think we sold out 3 or 4 times during that season, didn't we? This was one of them. The La Rochelle match, Ospreys match. the team are winning, there's a good support, and it just brings everything, ties everything together. That was too long. That was, oh sorry, this might be the actual highlights of the match. Is that right? I don't know. Rob Evans, how's Rob doing? You've not did the highlights.
The ball now. Some good picture the other day.
Yeah. Oh, these are the proper highlights then.
It's turned out of the tackle again. It's brilliant.
Great pass.
Gerardo throws. It's another one of those cheeky lineouts.
Jake, you missed this game, didn't you? You had injuries during this year.
Yeah.
You would have been happy conceding that, surely, wouldn't you? No, you'd have needed somebody there.
Here's Patrick here, drawing a line. Floats it to Fang Ashton in the air. Chris Ashton goes in here. Look at Scott. Tricks him up as he got Chris Ashton. Against the where he was.
Some good teams, so yeah, that's something then.
Yeah, man on Eagle and Adrada a bit, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's there all that time. I don't know how the girls find out. Yeah. So big shins. He's in the form of his life. Yeah. Parksies.
See, that's what we had.
That's my man of the match.
That's like a legend, not Paul Asquith.
Sam Luke,
Oh, great feet. That's different. Great feet.
The thing with that line.
Easy. Not an evil one.
Oh, this is the final minute.
Trent Duke.
Well, half dead, he says that, don't he?
Wouldn't flip at me, and then anyway, my hands were knees, so.
Just still get,
At least I made on the pitch.
just still get you going to keep TVs watching it back.
yeah, especially listening to that crowd, you know, singing those songs, Calon Lamb, Gareth Evans, and Mawheed. Yeah, they're amazing songs, especially we've got such a good crowd there. It does make a hell of a difference to us as players.
It built momentum that season, didn't it? We were steady enough to start with, but we did lose to Toulon, lose to Bath at home, and then you probably think then, Jake, that you're probably out of the tournament. What was the turnaround from your memory? We had the back-to-back matches against Benetton then, didn't we?
Yeah, I think those two wins, wasn't it? And obviously that the Toulon game. But I think just from the year before as well, there's a good buzz. You know, generally in the squad, a lot of good players, a lot of people hitting form at the same time. So I think that's probably clear to see. That's why we had such a good run.
Yeah.
Put a few old heads in as well, as in just like boys in their prime, you know, good leaders. No one really got flustered or, you know, panicked. You know, the belief was kind of there, even though, as you said, they might have lost 2 of the games, but then, yeah, you always have that underlying sort of belief in the ability of the squad, really, and just key blokes stepping up. You know, you had obviously you two, Ken, obviously captain, John Barkley, you know, Cabby would lead a lot in the week. Scotty Wills, Foxy, was he there too?
Tigbird was just coming through there.
And yeah, Tigbird broke through.
Do you know, like the season before, he's playing for us from Devries.
Yeah,
That shows, doesn't it?
even Rose, isn't it? You know, obviously there was Bolbering, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of depth.
Yeah. Because there was, we were nearly out of the tournament. We had 2 minutes left against Benetton, didn't we? And Steph Ems popped up with a miracle try really to win at home against Benetton, which gives a bit of momentum to win away. And it was all on the line for Bath away then, really, wasn't it? We have to win. And I think I was up there then. That half of rugby, the first half of rugby that you played against Bath, was the best 40 minutes I've ever seen from a Scarlets team. You were untouchable. You were like the Harlem Globetrotters. Even Rob Evans was popping up nearly behind, running the ball out from behind his own post and doing basketball passes. It was the Tyburn sidestep try, Anthony Watson.
That's funny. Because I had a European Cup like launch or like content day recently, and Anthony Watson's podcast was there, and one of the questions was, "Well, what's one of your favourites of European Cup memories?" And I actually brought that up, and I said one that sticks in my mind is Tyburn breaking through and stepping the full back. And I genuinely didn't really, to be honest, you know, he was there. He was like, nah, that's dirty. But it was funny. Yeah, that stands out to me. Tiger and breaking through, setting fullback, you know, special, isn't it? Down at the wreck.
Yeah, it does. So you were unbelievable for that. 40 minutes. Nearly, there's probably 40 minutes that came close to that really from my perspective, and it was a similar run in Ewrop. Phil Davies was the coach at that time, but Toulouse were the powerhouses of European rugby at the time, and I think it was the double header in the middle two matches. We beat Toulouse at home, and then we went to Toulouse away, and we were about 30 points down at half time. It was one of those French team to if we go, we were all going to get hammered, but actually the last half an hour actually was in 40 minutes. The boys were on fire, and I think we've got some clips from both those matches, and it's a similar correlation really. There's a big match at Stradey Park as it was, which was a sellout, and then the return fixture, Toulouse away when they were unbeatable at home. The boys put in a performance like this.
You're like, well, now I'm throwing them. I said, well, throw it. You playing Albush?
I was on the bench. Oh no, this was on the Stradi. No, I wasn't playing in this one, but under Alex Poplar. And this is Simon Easterby.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and this is Simon Easterby going over. So this game was important for us really. Only a couple of tries in the game. It was a tight game against Toulouse in the rain at home at Stradi. Then the week after then we had to go to the Sunshine Peely in Toulouse. Yeah, Peely on fire. Back in those day highlights. Stradey Park is full a 1 point victory against Toulouse, but we haven't beaten Toulouse up to that part, so it gives a bit of confidence. And then this was the second game, and this is arguably best Scarlet smash in European rugby. Toulouse are on fire. I mean, you can see them here. The Fortuno were in play. I'm sure Patrono stood their first half hat trick.
C'est lui qui est venu récupérer ce ballon. Et qui ressort pour les filles.
C'est lui qui l'avait, qui se prise et qui t'a faussé. C'est ça fait pas que ça va dans sa tête. Scarlet's team at the time, Stephen Jones, Dwayne Peel, Regan King was in the centre. But they were in the area. Dal James going over for him. You played with Regan, Gareth, yeah?
Yeah, the three of us had okay.
Good burst that.
24-10 down, they're still on fire. Factor knows through, and this is his hat trick. So I think after that moment, I think the coaches pulled it. That wasn't your full about it, guys. No, it wasn't. Barry Davies at 15. I'm on the bench, actually.
That comes on, ginger the game now.
Well, we're 31-10 down. This is Alex Bun. It's a nice bounce, so to be honest. That's Dazla.
Right on. Damn, you're going over.
Youngster, he'd have been 90, also pro. But at that time, this Barry Davies. Boom. And the fend. He was only a small bloke, but he had a great fend. Well, I don't know. They did go to the camera for that. I don't know. It was still a Dazzler going down with a bit of cap. That's when I came on, actually. Like, burning our quanta to replace Dazzler. So there's still 15 minutes left at that point, maybe. You did come back. This is Reek's thing. This about an unbelievable player. With the offload to Waka, Nathan Thomas, and really, we thought we'd done so well to get back to just to draw the match. We would land it, but then we scored that one. And then we had to dig in for the last 2 minutes. They capped the lower line.
Sap the years up. Yeah. Just exactly half time. You're probably looking around thinking this could be 65.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Scott McLeod, Matthew Rees, great hooker. Deacon Mano, Deeks. We had some great players, but you can't build the momentum during a season. It just pushes you on, and from that, it's a correlation really from that game. I think that team, we played Munster at home at Stradi in the quarterfinals, and Munster, they were finalists every year at the time. Munster were really
Ronan O'Gara days. He made a great win against them at home, and then lost to Leicester in the semi-finals. That was one of the 4 losses really in the European Cup. The one with Leinster was the 2018.
Yeah.
It was Leicester back in that season. It was 2008. I was involved in Leicester. It would have been about 2002, I think. We lost with that in the semi-final with a Tim Stimpson fullback. He kicked a penalty in the last kick of the game, hit the post, crossbar, and went over for Leicester to win. And the one before that, there was a last-minute penalty. Ian Booby unfortunately stick his leg out penalty. We lost that semi-final in the last game. So there's lots of heartache as well when looking back at fixtures, because that would be one with, from your own perspective, really, that Leinster match. We were on such a good run. We had momentum, but we came up against a Leinster team that was just on fire, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. I think looking back at that team now, I think it was probably 20 odd out of the match day, 22 or 23, whatever it was. They were all sort of Irish internationals, and we came up against a very good Leinster team that day, and they got the better of us. But we did well together.
Yeah, you did. And I think they probably learned the lesson from the year before, because the year before you went to the Adgers, beat them in the semi-final the year before. So I think they had a bit of revenge on them.
They were out a bit in their teeth after you went in sex so much. Riff running over
The hedge.
this way.
We have got the Bordeaux match coming up. It means it's a European trip. It means as much as it's quite difficult and it's quite tiring travelling and waiting 2 hours in an airport and flying for 2 hours, and there's also great camaraderie built on away trips, and lots of things go on that we probably don't want to know, but there must be things that you've enjoyed spending time with each other over the years, or things that stand out over the years that have been great trips, things that were key times for you really in building a squad and building a togetherness, because it's when you're together and you're away, there's lots of the team spirit is built. The stories you can share?
No one got run.
I mean, I can touch on my tight head mate, who they obviously put me in a room with quite often. Samson Lee.
Yeah, did, yeah.
Worst roommate ever, I think. Towel on the floor, leave it there, wash himself off, skids in the toilet, no cleaning up, snorer, borderline narcoleptic at times, you're talking and you fall half asleep. And just...
Did you ever ask to not to share with him that?
I wish I had at certain points. I mean, I think that was a European game. Actually, we won it Racing, so it would have been Racing away. Had a really good travel sport actually, but Souths had bad guts the whole week. So that was fun for me. Not only the night before the game, but also the game itself. Having the scrum as well.
He'd eaten the dodgy rabbit.
That's it. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or two with hunting and bits, but certainly a few funny moments and a few not so funny moments as well. It's certainly a hell of a character.
But surely he's a good room innit?
What's that? Yeah,
He's a good room innit?
yeah. There's never short of a laugh. Especially, I mean, the other thing as well is, obviously, it'd go on the phone, and if you're talking to you, then he'd jump on the phone, and it'd sound like someone completely different. That Irish twang would come out, and you'd be like, "What the hell's going on here?" So he's a different guy.
Have you ever catch up with him since you came?
So I have, he came in and saw me at James's with a coffee in there, and it's like nothing had changed. But other than the fact that he probably put on about 20 kgs of fat flip.
Best or worst team you got?
Or both?
I've had a few good ones over the years. Priestland for a couple of years.
No, you two would have been carnage on away trips. You had up to all sorts, you two were.
No, we weren't good behaviour. He went through a stage where he was a bit of a gym monkey, and he liked keeping in shape. And every night before going to sleep, he'd be doing under press-ups on the side of the bed there, night before a game. And but no, he was a good roommate. And then Liam Williams down for a couple of years as well. I roomed with him a lot with Wales as well, so
he's probably been I've been with him most of my time, I'd say. And he was a good roommate as well. Good. Nothing bad to say about either of them, to be honest.
He was he's a great team member, Liam, wasn't he, as much as what he did on the field. But off the field as well. He would organise golf days and things he had to get to be his own, and there's all those things that create a team that he'd do brilliant.
He's really in charge of things. So like you said, like golf days and socials and any sort of gatherings, he loved being organising that and in the middle of it, and he was good at it as well, to be fair to him.
That's why when I think back, it's just you think of the quality of the people that you had with you rather than what they did on the field. They were all great people off the field. There's a core group of people that we had in those European matches. They were just great guys from the Boobies, Martin Madden, Easterby's, Scott Connell, Stephen Jones, Dwayne. They were the personality, they were such good people. They just created a great spirit. You'd have Joneses, Mark Joneses. It was just that's what made that's what made the team, and it made us better on the field as well.
Well, our most successful years, obviously the year we won the league, 2018. We were just such good mates. Off the field, we spent so much time together. Always, kart schools, on away trips. We always playing gin rummy or crash. You boys used to play crash from the minute we got on the bus in Llanelli till getting back. We went to France, played all weekend and all the way up.
We used to play the up until 2 hours before kick-off. And then that's got to a point where some of the coaches were a bit like, "Oh, come on, you car's way now." So I think about the game. I remember me and Cubby went out in Teresa. I went to Teresa and it was literally about 10 minutes before we were going to jump on the bus to go to the game. We had a big game of cards, and Cubby got a bit heated between me and Cubby. We were nearly scrapping.
Nearly seen the blow. Boys had to jump it.
Cubby said sorry then, and he was in the room. Yeah, of course. Go on.
You'd have been a good roomie. Did you share with Cubby? No, I was never with Cub. You'd been living at Joe, and I was always with Rob F's. So that better be it. Loving the teenage. Oh, God's ridiculous. I got some stories, yeah. Not that I can tell them here, but he would have been the worst roommate and the best roommate, for different reasons. He was good for me because, as a young boy coming through, you can, particularly in my younger days, you could become a little bit too intense leading into a game, but then you'd have someone like Rob, who was just so relaxed and he's constantly having a laugh. So, in that sense, he was really good for me. But then, at the same time, he'd be up on his phone till 2 a.m, for a game. And it's like, he messages him, "Oh my God, he's driving me mad." He'd live in the bath. He'd have three or four baths a day. Yeah, in there he'd have to have a bath just before the team meet day, and ridiculous. But he was good. He was a good. All in all, he was a really good roommate. I had some good laughs at it.
Yeah, good bloke. Yeah, he was. When I was team manager, he was the one that no matter where we went, we jump on the bus. There'd be one voice you'd hear on the 2-hour bus trip, and then the airport you'd hear one voice from there on plane. Players. It's just like he was wearing as a team manager. I wasn't rooming with him. Rooming with him would have been 10 times worse. That's to say. Good memories, though, surely.
Oh yeah, but it's mad that you know they come and go so quick, don't they? Years, and they almost just merge into one. It was a good few years ago that Rob left there. He's up in Dubai now, but I'm telling those stories there. It only feels like yesterday, really. But yeah, so you got to make the most of it, and as you get a bit older, you get that sort of realization of how quick time goes and appreciation. The appreciation of having to enjoy it as well, because another one of those, career will be done.
So can you enjoy it then with the responsibility you have as representing Scarlets and representing the history that we've seen in Ewrop and at further back and that? Can you enjoy it at the same time?
In the lead up, in the lead up.
Yeah, it's European matches. Yeah, we know we're looking forward to Bristol now. We're looking forward to Bordeaux. The European matches. There is an extra level of expectation. Is it?
For myself, I mean, you get the massive games. You know, they're big games. Playing against the best teams. You know, they're the games you want to play. So from that aspect, yeah, and obviously winning. You know, winning is obviously where the enjoyment part comes from. You know, getting in that groove. You know, winning games. But in terms of the lead up, I mean, obviously every player is different. I mean, for me, you know, I'm pretty, you know, lead up to games. You know, set the game day, but I kind of just want to be in my own, you know, my own little zone. That's just the way I prepare for games. Really, I don't really want to be, you know, so social. I know so some guys obviously enjoy that interaction and that, but for myself, I quite like, you know, I like to just sort of go through the game, you know, in my own head and prepare that way. So for me, the enjoyment comes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Post-game.
And is it another level of excitement for European rugby compared to the league matches?
Yeah, I think because you play different teams. You know, to URC, you know, you're playing. Everyone knows those teams quite. You know, play against them regularly. You know, playing against Bordeaux, you know, Toulons, Racings, you know, teams like that. You don't get to do that all the time. So it's exciting. They're obviously, you know, usually star-studded. You know, you've got a load of players from all around the world. So it's a great opportunity to prove yourself.
Yeah, definitely. You testing yourself against the best in these Champions Cup matches. Obviously, yes, this season now we got Bristol first up, and then you got, you know, the winners last year in Bordeaux. Then we got, you know, Northampton in the final, and you know, Pau. It's gonna be like the top sides, like so.
No easy game as well.
No, God no. But that's class. But you look at that. Those clips there, I haven't seen those clips of us in that Toulon game since then. And just that buzz of playing at home and the crowd getting behind you, you know, that's special. And when you run out, obviously Champions Cup, that music you have in Pencampwyr, that's like
Fireworks.
Yeah, that's special in itself. Just running up, it's so it's nice to be back in it, and hopefully we can, you know, prove a few people wrong.
Yeah, but we're coming into the tournament. We're unfancied, aren't we? So those are just opportunities, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Been in that position loads of times before. Like, you know, thinking back over, you know, this game, you know, certain games that I can think of where, you know, we weren't expected to win and we ended up winning. You know, like I said, Quins, and a game against Quins away. They used, I think it was 2-15, I think.
Jordan Williams, right?
Yeah, we weren't, you know, weren't expected, you know, no one expected us to win that game, won the game, you know. We obviously spoke about Racing, you know, same sort of thing, you know. And I think Dan Lids and Mark Phillips were playing that game. Yeah. You know, same story really, you know, turned up there. Obviously they don't play, they were playing in the new stadium that they are now. They were playing in a bit of a, yeah, a bit of a bog in there. But, you know, we turned up and done a job, you know, front row did really well. You know, set piece went well and ended up coming over the win. The whole Scarlets fans jumping over the board, running onto the field, and you know, so it's it's plenty of happy memories there.
Yeah, because we've got a clip actually, and it's a similar circumstance really. I think Scarlets were in a development phase. Really, Reece Priestland was a youngster. You know, Gareth Stodds was there, slightly older. But there's one of the great Scarlets European tries we got a clip of. So it's a Reece Priestland try. But Regan King is playing Stodds. So this is a try. Stephen Jones with a long pass out. And Priestland to Moggs started back door to Gareth Moore. What do they tell the Priestland?
They filmed this of a knockout.
It is quite an old clip. Jeez. Well, that is one of the great Scarlets. Right? Surely there's two back doors there. To Morley, yeah, full pass. And then it was maybe then suddenly couldn't see somebody running in the background there. That was me as team manager. Running into celebrators, were probably the best. A great try, one of the best I've seen. But this was an unfancied Scarlets team. Pretty early on in its development, really. But it was a great home victory and turned it on for the day. So there's no reasons why those matches can't happen again.
Yeah. You know, we'd be confident going into these games. You know, we've had a good block during these Autumn Internationals training was. These are a couple of key boys coming back, and yeah, that's exciting.
Going into these matches as, a senior player, part of the leadership team, what are your hopes really for this Bristol performance?
Yeah, like Ryan said, we've had a good block of training during November. We didn't have many games during the autumn internationals, but we had a good block of training. We got a few key individuals back from injury. But I think we were a little bit unfortunate at the start of the season. We had a couple of injuries which affected our squad a little bit. But like I said, we got a few boys back from injury. We got a good block of training, and hopefully that will put us in a good place to go into these big 2 European games, with a bit of confidence. And who knows, a win against Bristol Bears at home first up will be massive for us, and hopefully we can kick on from there. Though.
Yeah. Like, we've got some quick fire questions for the boys, based on the way European matches, really. What would be which place would you most like to play, or which stadium would you most like to play at?
I'd say probably now looking at Racing's new stadium. Some of them played it, but yeah, that'd be pretty awesome to play there, I reckon.
We played them. It'd be a bit too quick for you, Jake. I tell you. You have to get the Gilberts back, huh? It is, you just go and watch the game on a beaters like on this, and it's cool. So yeah, I've only played the other ones, but that's cool. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Gar?
Probably these fixtures we got coming up, Bordeaux away. It's probably played there in the World Cup in that stadium, the World Cup in France in 23, and it was an unbelievable stadium. And I think that's where we beat Fiji, if I remember rightly. So I've got some good memories from there. So hopefully, I'm looking forward to going back there.
I'm not sure if I was the football stadium, but oh gosh, Bordeaux's football best. I be the same as Gary. Bordeaux away, it's a cool place. We played there before. Obviously, we've done football stadium, which was special, but the rugby ground is like really old school. It's got a huge tunnel to the pitch. No, that's it. Do you remember? Yeah. And you can hear the fans above you, and obviously it's always like an electric atmosphere there. And you're almost like a gladiator coming out onto the pitch, because it's like not far off, quarter of a mile walk under this tunnel is hell of a stretch, from the change rooms to the pitch. That experience in itself is quite cool. I guess some people might think it's a bit daunting, but I think that's special for me. I think that's up there, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Lathampton away at Franklin's Gardens, so that's a class face to play as well. I actually played my first European game there back in 2018, I think. It was my first involvement.
Really?
Yeah. I was up to we won that one, didn't we? Yeah, we won there. Yeah, it was a great game. I love watching the Lathampton players. Love the way they play, so I'm looking forward to playing against them. And it's a class stadium as well. Nice pitch. That'll be good.
Yeah. What is the best place, best away trip that you have played at? What's the best stadium you have played?
Best transmission.
Yeah, between Claremont and Toulon.
Both thinking, but Fairmont's got high, steep stands, isn't it? Yeah. Not similar.
I'm gonna go with Claremont, because I think, I can't remember what year it was, but when we played there, they'd gone on like a mental run. Can't remember how many games they'd gone, then lost at home for. It was a long time. But just the noise, obviously in the sitting in the sheds before the game, stamping on the ground. I think they gave them like some sort of thing to whack on their hands. Like, it's just loud noise. Great place to go and play.
Yeah. Carl?
I'd probably agree with Drake. Clermont away is that's a great place to play. The chanting and the singing, and I can't remember what year. I think that would have been like 2017 maybe. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but we had a we had a hell of a game out there against them. We just fell short, didn't we? Yeah,
Yeah, that Nalanga, wasn't it? Big boy,
but we gave them a good game. And yeah, I just remember the crowd being unbelievable there. It was an unbelievable atmosphere and great game of rugby. Really?
I'll go Toulon away. Just because over the years, we've drawn quite a few times, haven't we? Yeah. So I've been up there 3 or 4 times, European Cup. So yeah, I think only once I've seen the newspapers thrown around there because is it the comics they sell here when? Yeah. Which when they know they've won, they start flinging the papers around. But yeah, most of the games we've had out there either should have or could have won. You know, like don't know if we have.
No, we took drawn close to me.
Who once, and there's another one where we should have won or something. Yeah.
Quarters of a million years ago. We were a young man then.
No, it was. But we didn't know. We did seem to come close with every.
Oh, it's yeah, it's a great place to go for supporters. Just try everything. It's a small city and feels close. The weather's perfect, and you're on the harbour there, and the crazy planes.
The crazy guy with the tablet face, isn't it?
Yeah, singing for the there.
Pilou, that's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying there.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Bathaway, not much about Bathaway. For us, that's one of the places to watch a game of rugby.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
There is a good one there. I do enjoy Pathway. Because that's not the best Jay Zills with.
Oh, terrible. You certainly can't see the results there. Well, actually, lots of those European places got terrible changes.
Yeah, because they're all traditional,
Yeah.
They're almost the best one, isn't it?
It's I feel on the river there having a few pints and just walking to the ground.
Yeah, that's nice. Because we stay in the hotel in the middle of the hour and walk. Yeah, we have the team in the hotel and walk down through the town, through all the fans along the river there. That is a great place to play.
It's a posh English people to wind up there. I think it's a great trip for us a better. But yeah, we went away.
It would be between Bath and Toulon for me. Great supporters trips, and we're gonna have a lot of people up in Northampton. I know there's a few bus roads going with Dan Vaughan already. He's got a few bus roads going already booked. So they're iconic places for Scarlet supporters where they seem to flock to that victory you talked about for Harlequins behind the posts. They were all Scarlet fans, and there's been about 2,000 Scarlet fans there, and so the iconic European matches at the Scarlets fans sort of seem to flock to. So Northampton again should be a great occasion.
Right, Tim? If you could pick any player from Scarlet's history to play against Bristol this weekend, who would you pick?
I'll go first, it's all in rain, go on. I'd go Garan Evans. You wouldn't be. Bit of edge on the wing. Petit tasty. Stupid. Nah, I would go just because you two might jump in and say Reading King. Bring Reggie back. Big game player. I'd have it just being round in when I first came through. I think for a season or two maybe, which looking back, very fortunate. I'd like to play with him in his prime.
Yeah, he was the best player I've ever played with.
Yeah, not that I'd be anticipating any sort of link-ups with the centre, but just when you're blowing as a forward and you come up from a scrum and you see Reading Kings just broke the line and run with it, and that'd be nice.
Yeah. You say that, man, but back in the day, Matthew Rees used to pick up the locks from Reading King. He used to be out in the wing, picking up lots of passes from Reading King back in the day.
But maybe I'll have to start watching Math. Yes, that. I got Dwayne Peel. I'd say on the bench, eh?
Yeah. That's going deep.
Yeah. Great. Jake? Oof. I'm going to go someone who played good, I think. I'll go Aaron Stringler. And the reason I say that is just desire to win. Like that's what I think of when I think of Shings a lot of the time. One man line out.
Yeah.
Aggressive character. So yeah. Good talks.
So super competitive one.
Yeah, super competitive. So
and everything,
yeah. Miss having Shings around.
Guys, so
He could probably still do a job, Shinks, couldn't he?
He's looking big now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's running fit now. Triathlons. He's moaning about his knees when he was playing with it. Like, ended up playing, but now he's running triathlon. I look at it, somehow.
No, when you talk about somebody who wants to bring a bit of edge.
Yeah, he's one of the legends of the game for you. The game. Yeah, he's class for the Scarlets. Yeah,
Keep Keith, he's in those seasons, so yeah.
he's massive. Yeah.
Loves his cap.
Yeah, that did.
He could, I'm sure. He could have sound, obviously, he's been down there. I think he's okay now, yeah, I think he's okay. Yeah, sure, Andrew.
Not he's always got slim it.
We did see him 3 weeks ago, and it was when we had those injuries. You and obviously were out, and then he said to me, I still do a job, see, pal? Yeah. I tell Philly, I'll come in Friday, team run, I'll play. I'll still do a job, see, you are. He's been there this year. So Shane, when did you rugby train last? Yeah, but I'm fit, strong, we do a job. Boys, thanks for your comments. Great to hear from you. Best of luck this weekend against Bristol. Don't need to remind the supporters, but it's Scarlets against Bristol, Parc y Scarlets, 8 o'clock Saturday night. Be great to see you all there.